And we don't want to resort. My name is Patrick Scott and I'm a herbalist from Milton. While I should be administering to the people, this is what I'm doing. This is not gaining the country or the people any benefits, real benefits. But because we have to put a stop to it. It could have been one of my grandchildren, one of my child, it could have been your child, but any one of us, child let this go. And they are going to do a lot worse than this to us. So we are asking for the government to show some compassion for the people that they are leading. So don't treat us like dog and dog, but treat us as that we are blood and flesh. And no man, I've never seen a man that stand in front of him pants and put down.
Brazil. So this is no ordinary situation, and we are saying that we must take a stand, and we are going to be here. We're going to be next week Tuesday is the 17th Marcus Garvey Day. We will be marching, we will be going to the Garvey Shrine, we will be protesting, and we will be standing for our rights. This is no 9-day wonder. This is going to continue because we have no faith. We have gone to court many of these things. And even when the court gave us rights, it's violated. In 1983, we took the Kirk Johnson case to court. The court ruled that a dreadlock Rastafarian child was entitled to go to a government school with their dreadlocks under the Constitution, freedom of association, freedom of religion, and all the different freedoms. Yet, despite that, we have a little Kensington High School and the Kensington Primary School being disrespected. So we're going over and recycling this rubbish. It has to stop now, you know. And the reason why it continues was because we have somebody who they call a national hero. Alexander Bustamante in 1939, he wrote to the colonial secretary telling them to keep an eye on Rastafari and to keep an eye on Leonard Howell. 1939, and then we come to the 40s and the 50s. We come to 1966 when Hugh Lawson Shearer, the then Prime Minister, went into Parliament and claimed that Rastafarians, along with Walter Rodney, were planning to overthrow the government of Jamaica. Look now, they are honoring Guyana there, Walter Rodney, I should say. Shearer went to Parliament and said Walter Rodney and Rastafarians were planning to overthrow the government. It was a big lie, a total lie. And today, you know, Guyana has decided to honor Walter Rodney. Jamaica need to that declaration of Constitution against his name to be exposed from the book. You know, those are the lies that they was to malign Rastafari. The police now have been schooled along that line. You know, to dishonor Rastafari because you won't get away with it. So if you don't do something now to make sure that you won't get away with it, it will continue. And that's why we are here. We are watching justice. Those who violated the system must be brought to justice. Compensation. The government should even be able to have to sue them. The Attorney General should start discussing and the starting figure for exemplary damages in this matter is 100 million. If it don't take drastic action, it won't stop. And this is why I am here and I will be here. And we are all here. We are dreadlock Rastafarians and we are going to take this fight now to the enemy. We were brought from Africa against the world, so they must know that we are facing Africa. We must never give up. And we should point out that we must never use the word slave in regard to our people, black people. We must never, and we must never answer when anybody calls us slave. We were never slaves. If a man puts a gun to your head and then you drive, does not make you a driver. No, you drive with your force. Or we will force where we were those reeds to make paper. And on that paper we write our different languages. We write our thesis. We write our philosophy. We gave the world those principles. And now you come and desecrate. Because you as black people don't know yourself. We are going to stand up now and let you know that you are traitors to the case. You were the ones that were slave drivers, that when Baka Master said give 10 lashes, give us 20. Well, those days are over with, and we're going to stand strong in this Armageddon. Dear Lord, and today we are part of a protest outside the Four Parts police station, which was where little Ensign King violated by the police officers. She was violated in the time when they pepper sprayed her for March, so she was being told that she was going to be charged for breach of code. When she was taken to court, she was told that she was charged for dishonest conduct. She pleaded not guilty, yet the judge found her guilty, and the police who charged her wasn't there, and the officer who came was nowhere present at the incident. So she was violated in so many ways. We particularly came to the Four Parts today because we particularly came to the Four Parts because when Four Parts has been declared a woman prison, a woman holding area for women. But yet the cells here are in deplorable condition. It is on the floor that our sisters must sleep, whole concrete. In addition, when Nzinga was brought there, she had to pull down her underwear and to unleash her brassiere. All these are violations of any woman's rights. So when they are in Parliament talking about breach of female rights and so on, the government is carrying out breach of our sisters and daughters' rights. Because there's no law which gives you that upon entering must pull down your underwears and do stuff.
Why the government of the police per se?
Why did it?
Why the government itself and the individual police?
No, because the police is a servant of the government. The police is merely an employee of the government. So you don't go after the employee, you go after the employer.
What if she breaks policies set by the employer?
Well, we must see that now. You, the employer, must demonstrate that you step outside of your policy guidelines. And therefore, you reason with us as to what can be done. But it's not just a matter of breaching the employment guidelines or so on. It happens too often now. That's what we're saying. It happens when our children is to go to school with their dreadlocks. It happens whenever we are confronted and demand our rights. It happens presently in regard to our ganja policies and so on. So we are saying it's a systematic thing. It started by Alexander Busterman from 1930s and which has carried through until now. In other words, we are saying it's a government policy that caused the police to behave like this. Not just at this station, but at many other stations in violating black people's rights and Rastafari rights. But this station now has to be highlighted because it is here that little Queen Nzinga